Hi everybody, welcome to the very first episode of Holding Court, a special show brought to you by the National Basketball Retired Players Association, special for the Huffington Post. My first guest on the very first episode is a man who played 12 seasons in the NBA for the Kansas City Kings, the New Jersey Nets, and the Boston Celtics. And he is currently the vice president of the National Basketball Retired Players Association. Otis Birdsong, thanks for coming to see me.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
You've talked about Kansas City as being the best 4 years for you in the NBA. Why has there been no team in Kansas City for 27 years?
You know, it's amazing, Dave, the success that we had when I was there, and I'm not taking the credit for the success, but we had great players like Fielkow, Reggie King, Sam Lacey, Scott Wedman. Even during our glory years there in Kansas City, we went to the Western Conference Finals my last year in Kansas City, played against the Houston Rockets. We did not sell out during our home games in the Western Conference Finals, one step away from the NBA Finals, and we were not selling out. So that's the reason. It was just the fan base. We had great fans, but we just didn't have a whole lot of them. And so that was the reason that they moved, because financially it just didn't make sense to stay in Kansas City. And now they're in Sacramento selling out every game.
When you left Kansas City, you signed with the Nets and became the first guard to sign for $1 million. You show up in New Jersey, and it's a very different place and a very different team. Guys on that team, Darryl Dawkins, Sleepy Floyd, Michael Ray Richardson. What was your first impression?
Well, Larry Brown was the new coach. We were going into the Meadowlands. It was the first year of the new arena. I was really excited. What I didn't know was that the New Jersey Nets had 10 owners. Every week, every month, players were being traded or cut. I played for 6 coaches in 8 years in New Jersey. Dare I say more? We had a great nucleus, but we just couldn't keep the team together. And Joe Taub, we still talk from time to time, and he said one of the greatest mistakes he ever made was letting Stan Albeck go, Coach Stan Albeck, because we beat Philadelphia when they were defending champs in the first round. We beat them, and we had a great team and a great nucleus. If we could have kept Stan there, we could have done some great things, and he said he regrets that to this day.
You played for Larry Brown, a coach who's had quite a ride, so many different places, so many successes. What do you know about Larry Brown that you want other people to know? Larry
Brown is a winner. Larry Brown loves the game of basketball. Larry Brown is a perfectionist. He's a teacher, mentor, father figure. He just lives and dies with the game of basketball. And that's why he's going back to coaching, because it's not about the money with him. He just loves to teach and coach. He really does.
If you got to play for any NBA team today, where would you go and why?
San Antonio, because of the team concept, how hard they play and how well they play together, and of course how successful they are. They have rabid fans in San Antonio. It's a great city. And then Los Angeles. It's Hollywood, man. I mean, if you playing now, you want to be in Hollywood.
I hear you're a big Star Trek fan.
How would you know that?
Why? These are the things I have to find out. I'm a big fan of Star Trek.
Man, Captain Kirk is cool, isn't he?
He's the coolest.
Man, smooth.
Yeah.
Always getting out of everything.
Always getting.
But Spock was the best, though.
You like Spock the best?
He's the smartest guy. Without Spock, there's no Captain Kirk.
True. But without Kirk, I mean, Spock wouldn't make it.
Yeah, Spock would make it on his own.
He'd make it all right.
Oh, yeah.
In today's NBA, past or present, who is most like Captain Kirk?
Well, I would have to say it would be Magic Johnson.
And who is most like Spock?
That would be a tough one. Probably Larry Bird.
Larry Bird Spock.
Larry was one of the smartest players to ever play the game. I mean, he had basketball down to a science. He really was a smart player.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was very talented, but Larry was smart. I mean, he knew all the angles on the court. He just knew. He knew where that ball was going to bounce off. He was just a smart player. Later on in the years, the movies, when they started coming out, when Spock died, that was pretty touching. Yeah, when he gave up his life, and that great quote, "The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one." That was pretty good.
That is good. That's something you could kind of put on the wall at the MB, at the Retired Players Association.
And that's we preach that all the time.
Right?
It's not about one individual. I mean, we represent all of the players. WNBA, Harlem Globetrotters, we're there to help them all.
Now, Otis, I want to end just on a different note, a musical note. Have you heard of the singer-songwriter out of Austin, Texas, Casey Tepp?
Have not.
Well, she's written a song called Otis Birdsong.
Never heard of that.
I just want to read the chorus to you, and you tell me if this really captures the essence of Otis Birdsong.
Well, can I ask you, when did she write it?
2011.
Okay.
The chorus. Birds, birds, birds. Birds, birds. Ba, ba, ba. Burr, burr, burr. Ba, ba, birds. And it goes on like that.
It doesn't make any sense to me, Dave.
It doesn't make any sense. In working with retired players and soon-to-be retired players, if the NBA came to you tomorrow and said, listen, we'd like to redesign our logo. We love Jerry West, but we think it's time for a new player, a new silhouette in the logo. Who would you put in the new NBA logo?
Probably Bill Russell, the greatest champion of all time. And one of the reasons I say that is not just because he's won all those championships. If you put a Jerry West, a Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kareem, all of those great players in one room, the one player that always demands the most and gets the most respect is Bill Russell. I've seen Julius Erving, George Gervin, all of these guys in the same room with Bill Russell, and he demands and gets the most respect. In fact, most guys, they say, "How are you doing, Mr. Russell?" That's the ultimate respect for an ultimate champion.
Mr. Birdsong, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
For coming on the first episode of Holding Court, brought to you by the National Basketball Retired Players Association, special for the Huffington Post. Look for us next episode with another legend of the game.